Hey, McManey here, ProfitCopilot.com, and today you will discover how to make a lead magnet in 5 easy steps so you can build an email list faster and convert visitors into customers using free tools. So the 5 steps are, well, number 1, you have to know what your audience wants. Then we need to create an outline. Then we have to simplify it, then monetize it, and then finally promote your landing page. So let's get down into it. We are going to use free tools for this. Nothing is going to cost you a penny. Okay, so I guess the first thing that we need to really decide on is what type of lead magnet you want to create, because we've got a few options. So we can create coupons. If you're running an e-com store, use coupons to build that email list. If you're doing blogging or affiliate marketing, then you've got a few more options. So we can go with things like PDF reports, ebooks, cheat sheets, checklists, videos, mini courses, and audio. Now, a big mistake that a lot of people make when it comes to making lead magnets is they'll create these massive ebooks and they'll believe that that is the best way to deliver value to their audience. But I think that is a massive mistake, because ask yourself this. How many times have you downloaded an ebook and it's been like 50 pages long? How many times have you actually started on page 1 and completed it through to the end? Not very often, right? It's got to be something absolutely mind-blowingly special for that to happen, right? It just doesn't happen. So your hard drive is probably littered with all these downloads that you've acquired over the years that you kind of think, okay, I will get round to reading that properly at some point. But what happens, you move on to the next one, you download the next one, you move on, and it's just this cycle that never seems to end. So we don't want to feed into that. We want to help people to break that cycle. And we do that by providing actionable content in a very concise and simple way that helps them to get results as quickly as possible. So we don't think about the quantity, we think about the quality. So quantity does not equal quality. Remember that when you're doing this process, because what we're going to do today is create a very simple, very short report. What we're going to do is just give people a list of recommended hosting companies, and that's it. So we match that buyer intent. So let's start with Google. Let's find out what people are really searching for. So I promised that we would use free tools during this. So Google is like the freest of all, right? So let's find people who want a web host. So let's go hosting reviews, or let's say which is the best web host. Web hosting UK, that's pretty niche. So we could go with that. Which is the best web hosting UK? Actually, I don't want to limit myself here because for web hosting, it doesn't really matter too much. So what we're going to do here is look at what people are also asking. So which web hosting service is best? So we know that there is buyer intent behind these keywords. And all we're doing here is validating that there is in fact money to be made. So if we scroll down here to this other section, so this is what people also searched for. This is related searches. So best web hosting for small business, best web hosting for WordPress. So there we've got a few options. We can take a deep dive into any of those and match those specific users and keywords if we want to. So all we're doing is just checking that people actually want what we have to offer. And here we can see that, yeah, people are actually searching for that. Another way to validate this is have a look at the ads. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 ads above the fold. So this is a very competitive niche, and that's really good for us, because the more people spend on advertising revenue, the more potential earnings are available to us. Of course, we might not want to compete with these people directly with CPC ads. That's okay. but we know that there is an industry here. We know that this idea is profitable, but is it evergreen? Now let's verify that for a second, because if we go to Google Trends, we need to make sure that people are actually searching for which is the best web hosting. So when it comes to Google Trends, we might want to reduce it a little bit. So we might want to make it more short tail, just to see if it's an evergreen industry. Or we can see what happens with this long tail key phrase. Okay, not enough there. That's fine. So let's reduce it a little bit. So let's go with best web hosting. And there we can see it's pretty consistent over the last 12 months. We have some peaks and valleys, but let's zoom out. Let's have a look at the last 5 years. Now we should see some fairly consistent activity, and yeah, there we go. So let's reduce it further. So if we go best web hosting, there we go. So that is very consistent over the last 5 years. I don't know if you can hear that alarm that's just gone off. But that is the fire alarm test that happens once a week in my building. Hopefully it'll go off in a second. Okay, so it looks like this is an evergreen niche. Fantastic for us. So now we can start moving on to the next phase of our research. So we know what people want. We've validated that there is buyer intent behind it because people are advertising in this niche. So now we're going to use Frase to build an outline. So this is a free tool. Yeah, I think you get something like five documents a month. But we're going to use this outline builder, and we're going to put in the keywords here. So web hosting. I'm going to apply a modifier. I think this is in the upgrade version, maybe. I'm not sure if you get this for free, but I'm only going to apply what. So what is web hosting? What is the best web hosting? Well, let's go web hosts. So this is okay. Web hosts for blogs, web hosts. So we might want to add a few of these to our outline, and all we're doing here is just getting enough data to help us create an ebook or a PDF report that's going to deliver genuine value. So it's going to cut straight to the point. So let's go best hosting for WordPress, best hosting for beginners. Let's go with that for a second. And click create document. Okay, and what Frase is doing right now is searching through the search engine results page. So it's going through Google, it's seeing what the competitors are doing, and basically what we're doing here is we're really looking for sites that have affiliate links. So if these are going to review web hosts, then chances are they're going to have affiliate links in those reviews. So we just want to, instead of searching the whole internet and looking at a whole range of hosting companies to find out which ones have affiliate programs, this is going to tell us where we should be looking. So then we can just go ahead and join those affiliate programs. So let's go with this one. So HostGator, let's add that to the list. A2 web host. I'm not sure I've heard of that one. Let's add that to the list. And if we're not getting enough of the right results here, we can change the keywords here. So we could change this to web hosting reviews. And we might get more accurate information. So don't be afraid to adjust your keywords if you're not getting the results that you want. Okay, so now we can go through this list. Hopefully we're going to have slightly better results. So DreamHost, let's add that to the list. SiteGround as well. Hostinger, have we got that on the list? No. Bluehost, GoDaddy. Do you know what? I would not recommend GoDaddy to anybody. Let's remove that from the list. Okay, so once we've got an idea of what offers the competition are promoting, they're probably promoting that because there's money involved. So now we can go through this list and join those affiliate programs. Not only that, the great thing about Frase is we can also add additional content. So for example, if we find a web host, let's go back to Bluehost. So let's add that for a second. We can click this icon and then we can paste in more information with a link to that site. So this is going to be very beneficial for us. So what I'm going to do is show you how to build the lead magnet. I'm going to focus on one hosting company, and then you can repeat it as many times as you like for whatever niche or target keywords you're going for. Okay, this website has done a lot of the heavy lifting. It's done loads of reviews already. It's got this table of all the pros and cons. Now, we're not going to copy this, but we are going to be inspired by it. So now that we've got a rough outline, we know what we're going to cover. So in this lead magnet, we're going to focus on HostGator, DreamHost, SiteGround, Hostinger, Bluehost, A2 web hosting, and this one I've not heard of before, so I'm just going to remove that. So now we have an outline or a structure, and you can apply this strategy to practically any niche. Okay, so now let's build the lead magnet. So now let's go ahead and make the lead magnet. For this, I'm going to use Canva.com. There's a free version available. And then if we click Create Design, we get to choose what type of document to make. Now, because it's a report, what we can do is go up to the search bar here and type in PDF. And we should get, if we're lucky, oh, it's removed. Okay, so let's go ebook cover. Let's go with that. So this is not actually going to be an ebook, but we can use an ebook template. So let's take a look at all these templates available. If you don't like any of these, don't worry, you can just switch it out if you want to. But let's go with some fairly basic that we can customize. So let's say this one, it's a free template. Double check that it is free before you use it. And then there we go. Okay. So what we can do is let's get rid of that for the moment. And let's change this text to say best web hosts. Okay, let's get rid of that bit. Let's change. Oops, there we go. So we don't have to worry too much about the cover. So let's add a name to this. So I would add my name, McMeany. I'm not too keen on the border, to be honest. Let's change that up if we can. So there we go. So we can swap this out with a custom image, or we can get rid of it altogether. Hopefully we would be able to just add a plain color behind it, but I'm not going to worry too much about this at the moment. So all this really needs to do is just tell the audience what it is. It doesn't have to be fancy. You can brand it if you want to, but honestly, it's all about the content. So let's get rid of that page for a second. Let's get rid of that page, and we can start adding pages ourselves. So here we have a block of text. So what we would do is go back to Frase, get this outline. So let's grab this, and I know it's a little bit messy at the moment, but that's fine. Let's go with this, paste in the outline. There we go. And let's tidy it up a little bit as we go. So there we go. So now we've got some space to work with. We might actually want to make one of these per page. So what we could do is use this almost like an index page. So what we could say is web hosts covered are, and then we have a list of all of them. And then we can create a new page, so add new page. And what's the first one? HostGator. So what I like to do is just copy and paste the text block so we've got the same font. So let's go, oops, let's add it capitals, HostGator. Okay, and now we would have the pros and then the cons. So what I recommend you do here is make it really easy to read. So we have maybe something like the pro is easy to use, and then a con could be maybe HostGator has, I don't know, well, maybe they don't allow monthly payments, so maybe annual payments only. So what we want to do here is when we add the pros and cons, we want to add them as bullet points. So that makes it really easy for people to read. So there we go. So we will just go through each one of these hosts, adding pros and cons under these bullet points. And then we would have a we would have a link. So see for yourself, or click here, or sign up now, or something that is going to motivate people to click the link. So this is where you put in your affiliate link and where you monetize your lead magnet. So a simple structure as this is going to work really well because you're delivering maximum value in the quickest way possible, and you're matching that user intent, that buyer intent. That is very important. So if your lead magnet is ready, before we promote it, we have to give it a good name. So go up here, get rid of this light pink romantic book cover. Let's get rid of that. Let's call it Web Hosts. Something relevant. I would encourage you to add keywords, because what is going to happen is someone's going to store this on their hard drive. If they want to retrieve it later, they're going to look at the file name. So give it something relevant. Also, as people distribute this across the internet, and they will do that on your behalf. If the content is good enough, if people get enough value, they're going to distribute that for you. You want to make sure that it has keywords in that file name as well. Now, before you download, you need to choose the right one. So it's going to suggest PNG. You don't want to do that because the file size is going to be massive. That's great if you're going to print it out and have like high quality documents and all that stuff. Don't worry about it. So instead of PNG, go with PDF standard. So that's a small file size. So the reason why we do that is because we want the people who subscribe to the email list, who download this document, we want them to have a good experience. We don't want them to sit there for ages waiting for this document to download. We want it to be fast so they can just get into it, so they can get the value and they can click your affiliate links. And then you can click download and then host that on your web host or your WordPress media center, media files, and then you're good to go. And next, we have to start promoting your landing page. That's real key. Traffic is probably one of the most important elements here, because if you don't get traffic, you don't make money. It's that simple. So we can use things like blog content. That's very effective. So you create a piece of content that addresses their concerns, talks about the various types of web hosting maybe, and then have a lead magnet. So a link in that blog post to a landing page that invites them to download this PDF report, and then they can click through and purchase through your affiliate link. We can also use social media. That's a very effective way to get traffic. But listen, if you want to take the next step and get even more traffic, well, take a look at how Matt made over $2 million with my traffic methods. And if you want to know the secret and you are serious about growing a popular and profitable internet business, then of course you need more web traffic, because traffic equals money. So I will give you the traffic methods that you cannot get anywhere else. You cannot get them on YouTube. You can't get them on any other website. And I'll give them to you for free when you go to profitcopilot.com/traffic and get that free training course. Okay, if you found today's tutorial useful, give it a thumbs up below. Subscribe to the channel too. Hit that little notification bell so you never miss an update from me. And I will hopefully see you again in a couple of days' time. Thanks for watching. Take care.